when love wasn't enough. They say a man's worth is measured in what he provides. But what about the weight of his heart when it breaks? I still remember the way you looked at me, back when my empty pockets didn't empty your eyes of their light, when love was supposed to be enough, when we built castles in the air and called them our future. You used to trace the lines on my calloused hands, kiss each crack, each scar, tell me these were the hands that would hold our world together. I believed you. God, how I believed you. But belief doesn't pay rent. Love doesn't fill an empty refrigerator. And somewhere between the third declined card and the fourth excuse why we couldn't go out, I watched something shift behind your eyes. A flicker, then a fade, like a candle drowning in its own wax. I saw it coming, you know. The way you stopped mentioning tomorrow. The way we became I in your sentences. The way you'd scroll through your phone with that distant smile, the one that used to be reserved for me, now given freely to screens and notifications, to anyone who wasn't the man struggling beside you. I wanted to be your hero. I swear to God, I wanted to be the man who swept you off your feet and kept you there, suspended in a life of comfort and ease. I wanted to drape you in silks and certainties, to never let you question whether we'd make it through the month. I wanted to be enough. But I wasn't. I know the exact moment you decided. It was a Tuesday. Isn't it always the ordinary days that destroy us? You came home with that look, the one where you've already left, but your body hasn't caught up yet. We were 3 months behind on everything, the landlord's patience wearing thinner than my excuses. And you'd just seen your friends on social media, their vacation photos, their restaurant check-ins, their lives that looked nothing like ours. You didn't say it then. You waited. Maybe out of mercy, maybe out of cowardice. But you waited until I'd scraped together enough to take you to that little Italian place you loved. The one we went to on our first anniversary when things were hard, but hope was harder to kill. I remember ordering the cheapest wine, pretending it was a choice and not a necessity. Watching you push pasta around your plate like you were rehearsing the words in the marinara. And then you said it. I met someone. 3 words. 26 letters that rearranged my entire existence. Not, I'm leaving, or this isn't working. No. You wanted me to know there was already someone else. Someone better. Someone whose bank account didn't require prayer and miracles to stay positive. Someone who could give you the life I promised but couldn't deliver. The betrayal wasn't just that you left. It was that you'd already been leaving for months, testing the waters with him while I was drowning, trying to save us. All those late nights you said you were working, all those girls' nights that went later and later, all those times you turned away from me in bed, citing exhaustion when really you were conserving yourself for someone who could afford the best of you. I asked you if you loved him. You hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. Then you said, he makes me feel secure. Not loved, not cherished, not seen. Secure. As if I was some kind of threat to your stability, when all I ever wanted was to be your foundation. I wanted to hate you in that moment. God knows I tried. I wanted to rage, to flip tables, to match the destruction I felt inside with something tangible, something you could see and fear and regret. But all I could do was ask, what about us? And you, with tears that I'm still not sure were for me or for the life you were choosing to leave behind, you said, love doesn't pay bills. You're right, it doesn't. Love doesn't negotiate with landlords or utility companies. Love doesn't make calls to credit card companies less humiliating. Love doesn't turn water into wine or struggle into success. Love is just love. Inconvenient, impractical, insufficient, but it was real. Every morning I woke up before dawn, taking extra shifts, chasing opportunities, working until my bones ached and my mind went numb. That was love. Every time I went without so you could have. Every dream I deferred so ours could survive. Every piece of my pride I swallowed when I had to ask for extensions, for help, for mercy. That was love. The way I memorized your coffee order, the way I knew which side of the bed you preferred, the way I learned to read your silences better than most people read books. That was love. But you needed more than love. And he had more than love to give. I don't blame you for wanting stability. I blame the world that taught you a man's value depreciates with his bank account, that love is a luxury you can only afford when all your other needs are met. I blame the society that made you feel like choosing security over struggle makes you smart, not sad. But mostly, I blame myself for not being faster, stronger, better. For not manifesting abundance out of intention. For being the kind of man who loved you completely, but couldn't complete the picture you had of your life. For making you wait while I tried to build something from nothing. For asking you to believe when belief wasn't paying dividends. They say if you love something, let it go. But they don't tell you how to let go when every cell in your body is still reaching for her. They don't tell you how to sleep in a bed that still smells like her shampoo, or how to cook for one when you've spent years learning her preferences, her portions, her particular way of wanting things just so. I still love you. I hate that I do, but I do. I love you in the morning when I wake up, and for half a second, forget you're gone. I love you when I see couples on the street and automatically look for you before remembering. I love you when something good happens and you're still the first person I want to tell. I love you when something breaks and I reach for my phone to call you before I remember that I'm what's broken and you can't fix me anymore. I will always love you. Even when you're in his arms, in his bed, in his life that I couldn't provide. Even when you're wearing the ring I couldn't afford, living in the house I couldn't buy, building the family I couldn't secure. Even when you've forgotten the way I said your name, like it was a prayer and a promise combined. I will love you when I finally meet someone else, and some part of me will compare her to you. I will love you at your wedding, though I won't be there to see it. I will love you when you're happy, even though your happiness exists in a space where I am nothing but a cautionary tale. A chapter you'll tell your children to warn them that love alone is never enough. Because here's what I learned. A man can give everything and still have it not be enough. He can sacrifice sleep, health, sanity, self, and still watch the woman he loves choose someone who sacrificed less but had more to give. And maybe that makes me a fool. Maybe I should have protected my heart better, invested in myself instead of us, built my empire before I tried to share it. But I don't regret loving you the way I did. Completely, recklessly, beyond my means. I regret that the world made you choose between love and security. And I regret even more that I made that choice so easy for you. So here I am, writing words that will never reach you, expressing feelings you no longer want, holding on to a love you've already replaced. They'll ask me when I'll move on, when I'll let you go, when I'll stop destroying myself over someone who chose security over my soul. And I'll tell them the truth. I already let you go. I had to. But loving you, that's not something I get to choose. That's something that chose me, marked me, changed me, made me both more and less than I was before. I will carry you forever, not as a burden, but as a truth. I loved you when I had nothing else to give, and I'll love you even now, when I have even less. Because that's what love is. Not a transaction, not a negotiation, not something that fluctuates with fortune. It's a constant. It's a choice I keep making even when it's not chosen back. It's the only thing I own that can't be repossessed. The only wealth I have that can't be measured or counted or found lacking. And maybe one day, when you're living that secure life, you'll remember the man who couldn't give you everything, but gave you all he had. Maybe you'll wonder if security was worth it. Maybe you won't. Either way, I'll still be here, loving you from a distance, hoping you're happy, knowing I gave you my best, even when my best wasn't enough. Because loving you was never about what I could get. It was about what I could give. And I gave you everything, even when everything was nothing.